path be a law. And you've all chosen your lot with the devil, and I've chosen I must take you on. It'll be this contest that defines us. It'll be these wars, these fights, make us who we are. Once we stop fearing the devil and start taking the devil on is the day we start living. And then you see the horizon. You realize God's in control. The enemy's got to be engaged. Bone's got to meet bone. Sword's got to meet shield. The axe has got to come down on that skull. And in the end, we'll see heaven. And it's that spirit that's going to prevail. They cannot chain this spirit, ladies and gentlemen. And they will never chain it because they know it's better than them. That's why they spend all their time trying to chain down people that are strong. But if you ever get us down, you think you got me chained up? I'll chew my arms off and bite your neck off. You've got the sacred right to defend yourself and to kill. Other people trying to kill your ass. You understand that? You understand me? You need to find your spirit and stop giving in to these devil worshippers. And you need to let them know that you will defeat them one way or another. No more games. War. The real thing. War.
All right. Wow, that was crazy. And we have an even crazier show to bring you guys here tonight on the Meme Ranch. Let me just at first introduce everyone who's in the crowd in the room with us tonight. We have, of course, Xvala, we have Jacob, and we have a very special guest here, Brady, Brady is our eyewitness who is on the ground for this tremendously just, I don't even have the words for it. What happened with Trump yesterday, to have a camera on him as he dodged a bullet, literally, and literally was just inches away from having the entire course of history changed before our very eyes. I don't want to say any more. I just want to give the floor to Brady. You saw some incredible things yesterday on the ground there in Pennsylvania. So just tell us how it happened.
Yeah, no, craziest day of my life, by a wide margin. So yeah, I am from Butler, Pennsylvania, which prior to yesterday, no one even knew it existed aside from me and people I went to school with. Yeah, so I was in the second row. I was as close as you could possibly get to the former president. And he appeared on stage. He was talking for 6 minutes. Then, of course, I heard pops. And at first I didn't register. And I interviewed a bunch of people later, and they all said the same thing, where they all thought it was firecrackers or fireworks at first. Because partially as I saw what the Secret Service was doing, and they really seemed to have locked down the whole area. You know, I was in full view of the sniper team, who eventually did take out the shooter. And so it just never even, especially since there hasn't been, I mean, all of us here, we haven't been alive when there's been an assassination attempt on a president or former president. So something like that just doesn't even like register. So when I started hearing the pops, I didn't think it was that. But then second or third pop, I saw Trump grab his ear and then fell. And that was when I knew that, like, yeah, this is serious. Yeah. So
wow. Was there ever a moment where you thought that he actually could have been hit through the cranium?
Yes.
Like
I thought that there was a good 10-20 second period where I fully believed that Trump was dead, and that I had just witnessed him being killed, and like the whole world, being irrecoverably changed.
Oh my God.
And yeah, it was because there are two main emotions. That was one of the main emotions so basically once the shooting started, everyone like hit the ground almost immediately, like right after Trump hit the ground. The shooting lasted 10 seconds. 8 to 10 rounds were fired. So, and within the first like 3 or 4, I would say by the 4th, everyone was kind of on the ground. I was actually there with my mom, so she was one of the few people who didn't hit the ground, so I had to physically grab her and drag her to the ground. And so the first thought was, oh my gosh, like we just witnessed Trump get murdered. And then I was thinking, is this like a Las Vegas shooting? Where is he going to start spraying the crowd? And right next to him, he was 15 feet away from me when the shooting happened.
Who was? Oh, Trump was.
Trump. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I have the video actually pulled up now. Brady went incredibly viral with this video, and I just kind of want to show it. It was a brief but powerful video that you captured, and very brave of you to stand up and start recording. And you also captured some of the other brave photographers who were there. Let's just watch this. Now, feel free to walk us through anything.
Yeah, so I was still crouching when I was doing this. I realized, oh wow, I got to film this. I put my phone, I held it up, it's kind of like above my head, actually. What else is still? This is when everyone started coming back up.
And you're like, okay, he's not dead.
In that
now.
moment there.
Yeah.
That was...
I can hear you saying, yeah.
Didn't you think he still might have been like mortally wounded?
Yeah, mortally wounded. I was still afraid of that. But the fact that he was showing vigor like that at least calmed my nerves. That's that possibility.
God, man, it still gives me such chills seeing this. Like I was on the verge of tears whenever I was talking to Xvala. Like because Xvala was the first person to tell me what had happened. I was just waiting for a stream of the rally to start. I thought I was just gonna like maybe get his VP teased, and so like the people that were broadcasting whatever stream I was on just hadn't realized what had happened yet. And I get the call from Xvala, and I'm just like, please tell me you're crapping me right now, like that. And like I was finding it hard to contain myself, and there were so many people who were able to rush and just start reporting everything that happened. I was on my day off, and I was just like, I don't want to jump into this. Like I'm not in the right mental state to do this, and I don't feel bad saying that, because I mean so many people just did not know how to react. And even though people were kind of just getting their bearings straight and stuff like that, the fact that so many headlines like still like subdued like what had happened like within like an hour, like it was kind of crazy. Like all the headlines,
it was kind of ideologically, there was a divide there ideologically on the coverage.
Mm-hmm.
I think not your paper probably didn't do it, but others did.
Yeah.
Something funny, I guess we'll go chronological order, but Kayla, you were the first person that I called.
Yeah, I figured that, and I was honored to have that first call from you, and I was really trying to just encourage you. I recall like you were worried about a number of things, but I just kept telling you like you gotta get this information out there whenever you get service, and you've been saying that you think that they jammed, that Secret Service or some group like had like jammed service, or perhaps there was just so many people like making calls in that vicinity at the time that it was causing towers to be over flooded, but you couldn't really do anything except call people, right?
Yeah, that was actually because I was thinking about that, whether they scrambled the cellular or whether there were just so many people using it that it crashed. I guess I don't know. I guess they would never reveal that, so we won't know one way or the other. But weirdly enough, I was able to call because I called you. I tried calling Brecken, he didn't answer, and then I wasn't able to call anyone else. Then it like fully cut out, and so I essentially couldn't use my phone for the next 2 hours after the shooting. It was a total like cellular blackout. So I got a few texts off, but and then most didn't even go through. So yeah, I was able to show up like a call to you, one other guy, and then that cut off too.
I wanted to show too, just that video that we just watched. This is a perspective that was those guys that we saw right in front of you, taken to their cameras. And this crazy photographer, the fact that he was wearing a GoPro and like also like shooting with his point and shoot is like incredible that he came prepared like that.
Now, if you guys look at the actual picture he cropped and is the finished shot, that American flag that's above Trump's head, I believe it's the traditional flag in distress, the way it's framed up. It's upside down, which is kind of an interesting symbolic coincidence.
It's a funny anecdote about that flag is that it was so because I totally forgot about this because of the shooting, and I forgot everything else about the rally. But there was at one point when David McCormick started speaking, or maybe it was the speaker before him, but somehow the way the wind was blowing, the flag, like, I can actually pull up a picture of it, but it like flipped over into itself, so it like
Hmm.
looked like an angel or bird.
Wow.
It was, and like everyone was complaining about it. They kept shouting like
Fix the flag. Fix the
yeah,
flag.
like fix the flag. And they interrupted McCormick's speech to be like fix the flag. But yeah, if you can
Oh wow.
Wow. What
Yeah.
the heck?
yeah, it was
It does
crazy.
look like an angel.
Yeah, oh fuck, sorry, that my quality's a bit.
That is a really weird way for the flag to get messed up right before
Yeah.
that.
It was. I don't even know how they managed it because it wasn't that windy at all.
Oh my god! I want to ask Jacob because you haven't really talked too much. But where were you at the time, and what was your like position and like reaction and everything?
Oh, I was just like in my room, and then suddenly I just hear my mother screaming like crazy. Yeah, like the loudest I've ever heard. Just screaming that Trump has been shot. Trump has been shot. And I was like, "What? There's no way." And then so I ran out to watch it on the TV, and I'm like really sober about all this stuff, so I was like, "Oh, there's no way he's dead." And then he wasn't. But that was like chilling, just because at the moment that I came out, all we knew was that something had happened, and the Fox News was just showing the empty stage, so we really had no clue.
Wow. Yeah, and I have to bring this up because I think that there's a lot of people still like just now figuring this out, including the former president himself. We just kind of learned from some sources that Trump watched the video of himself for the first time on the flight to Milwaukee, which had to be the most surreal thing ever. Like, you like are a TV star like most of your life, and like you don't really think much about seeing yourself on camera, but this is probably the first time in a long time Trump has seen himself on TV and just had to like be like, like what's that meme where it's like, like sitting back in the chair and like the arrow just like pushes you up in the chair. Like I can't imagine being him and seeing this, but if this graphic is like an accurate representation, like I was mentioning this to Brady earlier in the group chat. Like, I don't know how anyone looks at Donald Trump anymore and doesn't think that like there is like some sort of like protector, like God is just like protecting this man from like he's like a baby walking through a construction zone, like
It's a nice image. That's
like like look at
you can watch him just barely turn his head to the over his shoulder a little bit, and that the graphic here is saying that caused the bullet to hit his ear and not his brain.
Yeah.
Brady's been tearing up at all the Shinjo memes.
Make that joke. You gave me. It was, oh my god. I was gonna say, why he turned his head there? Heard the whisper. Yeah, that was my favorite meme in a while. It's nice when there's like a wholesome meme that like takes over. And yeah, I've been greatly enjoying those.
Shinjo was like, Adolf, get my 6.
Oh my gosh.
Goodness. Okay, so can you tell us a little bit about like when you became more like got your bearings more about like where the bullets came from? Because obviously we know that like now it's like from if you're looking straight at the stage, like everyone's been kind of like calling it like the 3 o'clock direction, bullets coming from Trump's right. But just kind of when did you kind of fully understand like maybe like the distance the bullets were traveling, or was that something that was harder for you to like figure out until you started watching TV and stuff like that?
Yeah, that's a funny question because the answer is about an hour later. Like it was so weird, like how distorted my perspective it was. Like I think I was joking to you. Like people, like an hour in, people from California knew far more about the shooting than me, and I was 15 feet away from it. Because my thought originally was that it was a guy with a pistol who came up like right behind him and was shooting. Because the main reason was that I was like looking around for any bodies, and there's this one woman. She was laying from my angle behind these speakers, and her legs were sticking out in a weird way that looked like she was dead, and she wasn't. Like I saw a picture in AP after, which sort of just like kind of laying there, like chilling, I guess. But I thought that was the shooter who'd been shot and killed, and that their corpse is just laying there. And I remained thinking it was a pistol, and I would say I interviewed about a dozen people after, and maybe like 3 really kind of got the general idea of where the shots were coming from and the distance. I mean, there were like some people thought someone from the crowd, like someone from the bleachers behind him, had shot at him. Some people thought from like the tree line. Like there's just the answers all over the place. I mean, so I was totally in the dark. I had no idea about any casualties until hours later when I finally got internet access. So yeah, I mean, almost everyone had a kind of, well, there were some common themes, but everyone had a different story, different perspective. The big one was that almost everyone thought that there was a second shooter. There were like multiple shooters.
Wait, the people were saying that to each other?
Yeah, to me. Like I talked with a lot of people, and they were all saying that, oh, there was a second shooter too.
This is right there, right after it all happened. They were saying this.
Right after it all happened.
Well, the counter sniper must have been right.
Yeah, maybe they confused it or something, but honestly, it was probably just that it was just so chaotic and they had no idea. Probably because the confusion might have been because people in the left and right bleachers had been hit, but that was just because the angle meant that it hit both people on both sides. I think there was, and they're casual. I forget where the man who died. The man who died was about like 30, 40 feet away from me. But
that's pretty close.
Yeah.
Was he behind Trump?
He was I'm pretty sure he was the one to Trump's right in the bleachers. I could be wrong. It could be. There were casualties in both the bleachers, the ones to his left and the ones to his right. Because there are 3 main bleachers, right behind him, the people you see on TV, and then to his left and right. So the people on the left and right who were shot and caught in the crossfire.
This is really interesting because to this day we still argue about people at the JFK shooting saying they heard it in the grassy knoll, they heard it at the building.
Yeah, those
we have this
one.
Too. Like we don't even not even this one do people have clear idea of where a shot came from.
Yeah.
The one thing that I feel guilty of even, telling you when you were still there is like the stupid, like, and I'm assuming it's completely stupid now, but like, where did the whole it was glass shards instead of bullets come from? Because I first
heard that through you, and that was
I'm sorry. Okay, a former colleague, I'm not gonna say their name, a former colleague of ours, like, got that, like, sources say, like, scoop, and
it was on CNN or MSNBC, one of those places where I saw it. I saw it live.
Mm-hmm.
And that has been
so is that? I mean, like, that's been completely debunked now, right? Because Trump said that he felt the bullet hit it go through his ear, right?
Because they kind of dropped it, so I imagine that's been ruled out. But yeah, you were the only person I heard it from. So
well, that's because I was trying to, like, give you, like, nuance, but I wound up giving you misinformation. Because like I could believe it just on account of, like, how the wound, like, miraculously didn't look that, like, it didn't look as bad as I thought it could have looked. Because I thought that he would have had, like, an exploded ear even if it grazed his ear or something,
Yeah, I have a military buddy that said that same thing. He was confused as to how his ear's still intact, but I guess it's because of the distance that the shot was fired at.
Yeah. What a stupid, like, I don't know, like, that must have been, like, a bad, like, telephone, like, miscommunication thing. Like, I'm really curious as to know, like, the origins of that. If we'll ever know them, or if it's just gonna get memory hold.
And
Brady,
it sounds so selfish, but like like cruel. But I'd be so disappointed if that was true.
Hey Brady, this is also this is a community story also. This is you're from, is it Bedford?
Butler.
You're from Butler.
Yeah.
This is where this took place. The shooter is allegedly from there as well. I suppose your mom still lives there, who was in the crowd with you.
Yeah, mom still lives there.
What's the impact on the community there?
That's a good question because I knew at least half a dozen other people there. It's like, so
I
my
put that
mom's friends. Oh, Yeah. So some
There
of
you
my
go.
mom's friends. Can you hear me good now? So some of my mom's friends. My childhood best friend. His parents were. I didn't even know they were there, but they were far back. It is, yeah, a very strange thing because it is so weird, like hearing your home county all over the news, and it's like because no one knew of Butler, and all of a
Hmm.
sudden, like everyone on Earth knows about Butler, Pennsylvania, and
13,000, right? Population, something
yeah,
like
that
that.
sounds about right. Um,
Wow.
and yeah, it is just so bizarre. There was a Trump rally there in 2020 as well. Um, but
Yeah,
this
it was
time
at the
around,
airport.
yeah, at the airport.
Hmm.
Um, but it's a good like I talked with everyone I knew who was there. They were all basically reported the same thing. You know, they're kind of rattled, pretty detached from it. Um, it's like feeling weird. I talked with a few people who said that they wouldn't go to another Trump rally after this. Um, that they're too shaken from this.
You
Um,
can't top this. I
I
mean,
know. Yeah, that's kind of the inverse. Is
kind of
like,
morbid, but it's true.
yeah, like this probably isn't going to happen again. I mean, because now it's like they're gonna every rally's gonna be like Fort Knox. I mean, so it really
Fort
is.
Brady Knox.
Yeah, I know.
Kalen.
Sorry, I had to.
I use that one all the time. That's okay.
So
Did you see? Go ahead.
did this guy have any kind of a reputation amongst your, I mean, people you knew or anything like that? Or
No, I didn't know. I don't know anyone who knows him.
okay,
It might be 20 to 24. It's kind of a big gap, I guess. So it's like I'm not too like in tune with all the, who knows who back in Butler. Um,
can I bring Jacob into this real quick?
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, Jacob, you were saying something earlier about Gen Z because we were talking about Gen Z. You guys were all Gen Z.
Hmm.
The shooter was.
Except
And-
me, according to most
No,
people
no,
in the
I think
office.
I think you made it by 1 year, Kalen, officially.
It's a very contentious issue whether Kalen is Gen
Right.
Z or
Yeah.
not.
frequent,
you are, for sure.
controversial subject.
I mean, what do you guys have to say about that as far as like, how does that play into this? This guy was a Gen Z,
Yeah.
or does it?
I think it does. There's just a lot of to the Generation Z. There's like a lot of kind of pessimism, like innate, and there's a lot more methods of radicalization, I think, that could have, caused this person to act this way. So, I mean, I don't know. I can't really provide that much in-depth analysis here, but I definitely feel like his age and just growing up in this particular time of political instability and just polarization is probably very influential on a lot of younger people's mental states. Like we didn't have this sort of rampant instability back in the 80s, 90s, etc. So I think that's probably has a lot to do with it is the current polarization.
While we're on the talking to Jacob about this, I'm wondering too, and I hope you don't. I hope it's not like weird if I share it, but I know that you have said that in the past that you've been at least in like March or April time, like, and maybe even still to this day, like you've still probably been like leaning toward like supporting Biden, and I'm curious, if there's any, like if you think that after the debate and everything like that, like if you think that like if he's sort of been able to like meet the moment with some of this stuff, because he's been talking, he's given like 3 talks. He gave his most recent one like earlier tonight, where he actually made a pretty funny gaffe. I'm gonna play it here in a second, but what do you think about Biden right now, and like like especially like in what you've seen, and just trying to divorce it from this whole assassination attempt? Because I think, you've even said that, you think that it's probably going to be difficult for Trump to lose, especially now, with this. But like, what are your thoughts still? Like, do you think that who is more capable? That's such a loaded because like obviously there's like this question about mental fitness. Yeah, I guess who do you think's going to win? Yeah.
Well, what we're seeing with Biden is really just a wool being lifted from over a lot of people's eyes that this guy is not really competent or capable. It's become like the Republicans have been saying it the whole time, but now it's obvious to everyone. And just from that alone, he's more likely to lose. It probably almost certainly lose. I don't think like after the debate performance, like you have probably half the country watching that. It doesn't. Everything after that is much less effective. Like it's a lot easier to ruin something than uplift something, and the way he's ruined it in that debate has kind of irreversible.
Those were brutal.
And another kind of connected question is, I think there was an Axios report out today, too, that said that there were a lot of senior Democrats who have totally resigned themselves to Trump winning because of the shooting. And so don't subscribe to the belief that this is truly like a definitive turning point and that now the election has been handed to Trump over this.
I honestly do. I think I might fall in that category of resigning to Trump's victory. And then I'm just, just thinking of the positives that come of it. Like I am interested in seeing a unitary executive theory and all that. For me personally,
Biden might be too.
Well, tonight I'm asking every American to recommit to make America. What? Think about it.
That's perfect timing.
It's like even my opponent.
Oh my god.
I thought it'd be crazy. Like, it's never gonna happen. But like, if Biden had another bad debate and like all the polls were like really like stretching like the margins, like, would there ever be anything like closer to that might be said or happen that basically is like a resignation, like, like here, Trump, just take it, kind of moment that happened. Yeah, it seemed like he got really close at that point tonight. But
well, do you remember? Wasn't there blue MAGA at one point? I think that was an official thing, wasn't it? Or
there's people like the blue no matter who kind of people.
Wait,
there's like a blue "Make America Great Again" hat.
Oh, like actual color blue. Does that like symbolize like Democrats who are just like who like want to vote for Trump just to mess, to see the chaos? Or what does that entail? Is it just a blue MAGA hat?
I think it's the opposite, where it's like blue no matter.
It was like it was Democrats saying "Make America Great Again."
Probably. Oh, I see.
It's like the liberal, like Joe Scarborough patriotism.
It's like trying to like reclaim the phrase to be a Democratic champion.
The appropriation
for anyone. It doesn't have to be just Republicans. So
yeah, it was just like a fringe thing, but it was interesting.
I like it. I don't know. It'd be really funny to like see like a "Make America Great Again" chant at a Biden rally. I don't know what the implication or what people would pick up from that if that were to happen. It might seem like a what some people are calling a staged event. What do you guys make of? Is anyone saying this in earnest, or are they just trying to be edgy?
No,
I think it's the latter.
I saw one tweet that got like 300,000 likes. That was openly saying like this is staged. Like this is so obvious how staged this is. The theory is that he had a blood pack and put it to his ear.
The photographs were all set. You were in on this, weren't you?
Yeah, the photo. That's the funny. Like the photographs are so good. They like cannot comprehend that it's real. It must be staged.
The first thing I saw was Oh, Trump was in the WWE, so he's carrying a razor. Right? WWE, so he's carrying a razor. Right?
This was all Phil. This was all Phil's idea. that's a secret one for Brady and I, and Xvala too, I guess.
He's doing well, by the way. He's doing well.
That's good. Was he there?
Yes, he was.
Wow.
I was worried for him for a while, but yeah, he's good.
Wow, that's. And I mean, like, I feel like the indication would be perhaps like Trump's just gonna not be accessible anymore. But I just think that that's so far been completely tossed to the wayside. I mean, we have this clip actually.
We
if I
shall
can pull
see.
it up.
Caleb.
We shall see. I mean, this Friday actually, Xvala and I are going to be making our way to Bedminster for a chance.
There. We're going to be right
yeah, there he is. I'm
So
going
we're
to turn
gonna
that down. But yeah, I mean, like, what do you expect, Xvala? I mean, we're kind of,
I actually after after J13, I thought there's no way he's going to be there.
J13.
But I got a text. Never forget. I got a text yesterday, unsolicited, a few of them, and I kind of think he might make an appearance again. He's never missed one of these events we're going to be at that we got invited to, and there was no explanation with the text I got. Just here's the text, and I was like, So, Kaylin, what do you think? Do you think that's her sending a message? Maybe he's going to be there.
Yeah, that's what I said earlier, and I still kind of think that seemed to be what this organizer of the event was hinting at was giving you a timeline of the last few years. He never missed a beat.
We had to submit our information for Secret Service like 2 months ago, so I mean we went through all the protocols as if he was going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be that this Trump's going to be there. So.
And Bedminster is a summer home. Yeah, I guess that's been sort of routine for many years now. So, yeah, I don't know. I thought I had my questions, like potential questions for him, like laid out, but I don't know. I think I have to tear up the script on that because there could be. I don't know. What would you guys want to ask Trump immediately after this?
I want to see his scar. Say, show me your ear.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to see if he's gonna have that have it bandaged for like a few months.
Also, really, something I think it might have broken while you guys were preparing for this, but there was Washington Examiner. They just published a report. That was the first interview with Trump. It was Zelina Zito, who, but the first post attempted assassination interview, and he said that he was tearing up his RNC speech, attacking Biden, and saying he would preach a message of unity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, he has to. I mean, like that's what Biden's been doing, and it's basically going to be like who can out unity the other person, like who can be the bigger nice guy now. Do you think that they'll listen to like RFK's advice that they should have like a unity forum or something, or
no, not quite that, but.
What about the next debate? The next debate could serve as that, perhaps.
They're not going to do another one.
You don't think they're going to do another one?
No, why?
I think I know because Ron Klain committed. He said there will be a second debate.
I know, but it's advantage Trump after that. Why would he help Biden that way?
Yeah, it does puzzle me, but I'm only going off of the fact that they committed. But I can fully imagine them just pulling out at the last moment.
Jacob, what do you think?
A second debate. I think they'll have a second debate just out of tradition, like you're supposed to have at least 2 debates. But this time they'll probably have it. I mean, as far as I know, both of the debates were like set up by left-leaning media, so they're probably going to have it earlier before
that one
bedtime.
The one you're talking about was not organized by the debate commission.
The first or second?
The one they just had.
Yeah.
It wasn't sanctioned. Go ahead.
It was organized by CNN, right? And it was like essentially set up Like Biden scheduled it because Trump said I'll debate you anywhere, anytime. So both of the debates, as far as I know, are more handled by the Democrats. So I think they'll have the second one be set up somehow that could give Biden some. I have no clue how they can help him, but have it set up somehow to help him.
Well, no matter what, I mean, the one thing that I wanted to talk about, before we basically kind of wrap it here is like the security situation and like the fallout from that. Because this is like, we were like on a track to just have all these hearings and things that would have gone over, the weaponization of justice, bringing Alvin Bragg in to talk to Congress and all these things like that. But I feel like it's just all been turned on its head. And now we're going to be bringing Cheadle, head of the Secret Service, in to talk later this month before Congress. Like what is going to be,
what's his name? What's his name?
Mayorkas?
Mayorkas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I was with Alan Dershowitz for a while when he was saying that the approach to try to get Mayorkas impeached over the border just wasn't going to work because it was like, yeah, this might be something that actually works. Because what is going to be?
That's Cheadle's boss.
What is going to be the reproach? Or like what is going to be like the the upshot of like the security failure. I mean, we haven't watched this video yet that I wanted to play, but it just like, it's mind blowing to me. And I think that it's important for our viewers, like that everyone sees this. It's just completely appalling how this.
I just saw this a few minutes ago.
Yeah. I need to. Yeah.
We should have the volume on this.
All right. Yeah. I'll get it.
Because if we do, we're going to make America better than ever before.
Yeah, look, there he is.
Right there, he's moving.
Oh my God! In our country that shouldn't be here, dangerous people, criminals. We have criminals. We have drug dealers. We have people that should not be here.
Right on the roof.
It's much tougher than.
Check it out, guys.
You went right on the roof, big guy.
He kept like getting up, like it was like the way he was like trying to get up without getting up. Like it's like he felt like he was more hidden than what he actually was at that point.
I think he's trying to get a shot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is. I didn't know it was that long. That was the most damning video.
Doesn't that make
there
you
was no one close to carrying at the
how does it make you feel, you guys, to see that?
Very horrified.
It scares me. Yeah.
Another thing about the rally is that it seemed like it was suffering from some organization. Like, but the rally, everything before Trump was actually very, very miserable. Like it was blazing hot. I mean, it was near 100 degrees. That was like the hottest I've ever been, and everyone kind of sat out. And of course there was a seating. I was in the seating area. But and then there were alleys like get to the seats, which usually aren't supposed to be occupied by people especially for like emergencies like this. But like they were completely filled with just random people who came in, and people like crowding right by the stage. And like a fight broke out at one point over this one guy just like went up, was blocking everyone's view and wasn't sitting down. And there was like a lot of tension, and like I went to the bathroom at one point. I like thought I wasn't going to be able to get back. Because it was like a very tense, kind of hostile, like no one would budge. And so, because we thought like the Secret Service would come and kind of tell people like, okay, you can't clog the alleyways, but there wasn't anyone. So there was, I guess, multiple security failures on a number of levels.
Who runs that?
So it was set up by the Trump campaign, but the security was a mix of Secret Service, Pennsylvania local police, and I think Pennsylvania State Police.
So it just
and they're all kind of throwing each other under the bus, from what I can read.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm removing vulgarity from our from our live. You saw that, Jacob?
Yeah, I wonder if we're seeing like like a failure of imagination again by the security services. Like after, like what the last attempt was on Reagan.
Yeah, I think it was like 81, 82.
So there's kind of a complacency that isn't going to be there anymore.
You know, I heard this is weird. I'd never heard this story before today or yesterday. I think it was yet today. But Caitlin, I think, or you might know Brody. You might all know, but Dana,
Brady.
do you know who she is?
Who?
She was the spokesperson for Bush.
Dana.
Is that correct? Perino. Anyway, she said there was
Yeah.
a grenade thrown at at Bush, that did not go off.
Really?
And yeah, I'd never heard this story before. She said that she was there. I think she said that, and it was within feet of Bush, and it just didn't go off. So I guess there's been other things. It's not as popularized as Reagan, but that was an attempt apparently.
Wait, I saw an article that may have listed it, but it was freaking paywalled. A look at past presidential. Oh yeah, it says Bush was attending a rally in Tbilisi. How do you say that?
In America?
No, it was somewhere. It was President Mikhail Saakashvili.
Georgia.
Oh, Georgia. Yeah.
Oh, it was in Georgia. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Georgia.
He was in Georgia when a grenade was thrown toward him. Both men were behind a bulletproof barrier when the grenade, wrapped in cloth, landed 100 feet away. The grenade did not explode. Wow.
When she said feet away, I mean, it literally sounded like 6 feet. So I don't know. She oversold it.
That's still crazy though. If it had gone off, it would have been a bigger story.
You also had the shoes thrown at them, and had they been grenades,
A huge thing about the what happened yesterday. You hear the story of like the local police officer who went on the roof to confront.
Yeah.
We were just talking about that.
That's the video I want to see now.
Yeah,
we got that one we just watched.
Yeah,
incredible.
I guess I heard from was a sheriff with Butler or head of police. I can't remember who it was, but he was on ABC earlier, and he said that basically he did the right thing to basically scale back down the ladder, and then I guess he got like on his walkie-talkie and started, alerting people. But basically, I don't know why he couldn't have just like gone like ducked back down and then like reached for his pistol, like assuming he had one
and fired at him.
Yeah, like it's weird, but maybe there's some context I'm not missing. But the one thing that I don't think the press has quite gotten yet is like, what was the time gap there between when he popped his head up off the ladder and whenever Crooks was able to get back in position and fire the shots? Because he had to fire the shots after he saw the cop and pointed his rifle at the at the cop. Sorry if that wasn't clear, but yeah, he went back down the ladder because the rifle got pointed at him.
There's a possibility that police officer had a body cam on him.
Ooh, yeah, that's going to be very interesting. I think we might see that, or maybe we won't because they'll try to hide it. But no, I think if he had a body cam on him, I think that I can't imagine how they would try to suppress that. That just seems insane to me. That
they don't want everything out until they get the story straight.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I think we're going to see it at some point if he had one. I just don't see how we don't see it. I mean, it's everything's going to have to come out, but this is another one of those things where there were so many cameras on the ground and still there's so much sifting to do. It really kind of feels like all these historic events, like the fact that we have such a digital trail now. I feel like you could create like a virtual map of Jan 6, and you could almost like create like a Google Street View tour like through January 6th and all the events that happened. And I feel like this event is going to be another one of those types of things where you could really just make like a Street View type of tour. Speaking of like on the ground, like being there, there was actually an interest for part of our documentary filmmaking to actually go back to this place and try to like, get a look at the scenery and everything that was everything that, composes this like small farm. And I'm wondering, Brady, what was it like, I guess, for you to get into this event? Like, was it like a public fairgrounds, or was this like on private property, or like what was this like?
So it's a place that usually holds farm shows.
Mm.
So it was like a wide open
Boag.
field. There were some buildings behind Trump. That was where the counter snipers took up position, and then I think the building that the shooter fired from. I'm pretty sure that was private property. But yeah, it was like 150 yards away to Trump's right. Yeah, so so it was kind of transformed because, of course, all the campaign stuff they put up, like they put up the bleachers and the cranes holding the American flag and things. There were like a lot of vendors selling food and merch and stuff. But yeah, overall, just kind of a giant field looking thing. And yeah, not really. It was all flat, so there weren't really any hills.
Being from there and the shooter being from there, he would have been very familiar with the layout of everything, kind of the building arrangement, all that, right?
Yeah, it could have been because
place.
like Butler is fairly sizable. So like I haven't been all over Butler. It's there are like several different. It's usually determined like by what school you go to, and then you're kind of in a kind of like a bubble community that way. But so he could though. But the fact I'm pretty sure that there was only like a week or two advance notice of this rally. Like I do know that it was very quickly assembled. I had no idea it was happening until very shortly beforehand. So it would have. It's kind of surprising that he was able to know where to go and like how to get up so easily because he only would have had about like a week of preparation.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And then didn't they find like explosive devices not only in his car but like in his?
Yeah, that was the. So going back to my actual experience. So I'm trying to think of what I said. Yeah, I told about the moment when he pumped his fist, right? That how most unforgettable moment probably of my lifetime. I mean, that was I've never seen a crowd like because we thought he was dead. I mean, there was a 10-20 seconds we thought Donald John Trump had just been murdered in front of everyone. And when he got up, blood on his face, started pumping his fist, the whole crowd just went completely ballistic. They were all screaming like, "Oh my God." And of course the Secret Service had to be like, "No, like get down, get down."
Yeah, that's incredibly dangerous.
Yeah, so at that point, that was when my fears pretty much dissipated. Like when I saw him standing and pumping his fist. Like before that was when I was thinking, this is like Las Vegas. They're gonna start spraying the crowd. Yeah, I did have like slight concerns about like a bomb going off. Even like after he went by, I was thinking, oh, like maybe there's a bomb planted somewhere that'll go off and get the crowd. Which it was more justified than I even thought because yeah, they found a lot of explosives in his car and at his house. Which also raised questions of like if that was his plan B, if that was plan A and he couldn't execute it, or yeah, like why he had.
Did they say bomb? I thought it was just bomb making material.
It was bomb making material in his at his house.
It could be cleaning supplies in your kitchen. You know, it's very vague.
Yeah, it could be. I haven't looked into what they actually found, but I will say the evacuation was very orderly, which was surprising. It was so like probably 4 minutes after the shooting itself, maybe like 5 minutes after the shooting itself, and they just said, "Okay, they're evacuating everyone." And I was one of the first groups out because I was second row, and so everyone kind of orderly left, and there were like no scuffles. There was one interesting thing where, there was one that's kind of funny is that. It was when rumors were circulating that the shooter was in the bleachers or if he was on the crowd because they arrested someone and carried him away from the bleachers who like wasn't wounded. They just like dragged him away. And so everyone was screaming like, "Kill him, kill him."
Yeah. That's crazy.
And I got a video of that too. I'll have to publish that one.
My God. That was like
I saw some
witch
local
trial.
Like reports right after the fact, and people were like, "This guy needs to be hung immediately." And I'm like, "Oh, God."
Yeah, I witnessed that. That was, yeah, it was very like a lot of people were crying, and I heard this from a lot of people. Like it was like everyone was either like crying or praying.
Apparently, Laura Loomer cried all night.
Yeah, I could.
Was she there?
I would imagine that.
I think she was. No, I don't know if she was there. She
don't-
could have been, but I know that she was like on her way to the RNC today.
Did you happen to be next to the brick guy? The
No,
brick
guy
suit
in
guy?
The brick suit.
I saw him. I saw him walk by. I wasn't next to
I
him.
saw
but
him right up on that front row. It looked like.
Yeah, no, I do. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was in the first row, and he might have been like down from me to the left.
We met him at CPAC, and then we met him again. I met him again in Detroit, Kalen. I didn't tell you that. We talked.
Yeah, that guy is everywhere. He's like a roadie.
Yeah, and then there's a bean guy who has like a big bean jacket and like bucket hat on. I don't
Wait,
know why.
like-
It's not as I think it's
like British beans.
yeah, like British beans. Which I don't really get because it's like the brick guy makes sense. It's like a wall, but I don't really know the connection between Trump and beans. So
That's just epic. I don't get it. Like that's just being epic. I don't get it. Okay, so man, there's so much more that can be said. But I feel like we all have like crazy
part
days.
two.
Yeah, no, like there's so much more to be said. There really is.
Mhm.
But we just want to say thank you, Brady, for coming and doing this. And after you've done, I'm sure you're tired of all the interviews of the Aussie media.
Yeah,
But
you
maybe you'll get more tomorrow.
I have a non-Australian one tomorrow, but
Okay, that's sick. Well, good luck on that. And lastly, I just want to say, what do you guys think are the chances? Like, one of the RNC themes this week is, I think it's on Thursday, the last day, is like ushering America back into the golden age. And we've been working
The last day.
the last day, yeah. We've been working tooth and nail to try to get this golden hat into Trump's hands. So I'm just wondering, do you think that Trump is going to have this in his hands before the election?
I hope so. That'd be pretty. Because I've worn that, so yeah, it'll be a pretty. When you crown me, so that would be a pretty incredible accomplishment. That's one of my favorite photos ever. I want to see if I can like.
It's you feel really powerful wearing it. I gotta say, like anyone who puts it on.
I'm hoping at Bedminster we get to put it in his hands.
Yeah, that'll be. I mean, that is the symbol, I think, of the rest of this campaign. So we'll see what happens. It's so interesting now how like everyone just like feels like no matter like if you're like on the left or right, like there's probably still some exemptions to this, but like everyone kind of feels like a Trump fanboy, even if you're not really like a main supporter of him. It just feels like, I don't know. It feels like the map that we could potentially see this 2024 feels like the map. And when I say the map, I just mean like the color red on it, voting map. Like it feels like we're going to see a map that was supposed to be the Trump years, back in 2016, like, back when, we saw closely divided, and then when we saw the 2020 map, it was closely divided as well. But it feels like this is going to be the map that we should have seen from the beginning.
It's weird. This is a uniting moment I think it's more a uniting moment for Gen Z than it is for.
Yeah.
But I love it. Thank you.
Wait, where was the picture taken?
That was the one CPAC after party.
Okay.
Oh yeah. It was at the Bannon.
Yeah.
It was at the Bannon party.
You were
Yeah.
there. Nice.
Yeah.
So Gen Z, they're in such a unique situation here. This is like Gen Z is. I've seen this in the music that is part of Gen Z and stuff. I forget what they call it, but it's grunge, sort of. I forget the name. Do you guys know? It's like Gen Z is a combination of grunge, I guess you would say, or sort of that genre from the 90s paired with the 60s. It's a weird combination, but the events, the social upheaval, which I never experienced, obviously, but I'm closer to it than you guys were. That's where you guys are. It's really interesting to be in your mid to early 20s and then have these experiences. It would have been like being in the 60s, I think, but with a little bit of like depression.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good point of comparing this to the
Yeah,
state
It's
of
pretty
Texas.
cool. I mean, you guys are really living through a unique moment in your younger years.
It is exciting in a way. Yeah. I mean, there's that. And the quote that keeps coming to my mind in the past 3 weeks is the Lenin quote of there are decades when nothing happens and weeks when decades happen. And that is in
Very
the past 3 weeks.
well. I don't think it's over.
No,
I mean,
definitely not.
I know you think it is, or it feels like this is pretty definitive. There's going to be something else that's going to come along and change things again soon.
People have been saying that they have to even the playing field, so there's going to be some sort of like false flag like attack on Biden, and it's going to like up the ante. I don't want to even say that.
Are you suggesting that there'll be a staged shooting against Biden?
Dang it! I fell into the
It'd be
stage
great if they
trap.
tried it. It would seem off so bad. It's just obviously so fake.
This stream just cuts out immediately because we just crossed the line way too far. I hope that does not happen, but that's the I don't know. If that happened, if there is if there was like an opposite kind of attack, that would just be so poor for everyone in this country, because then people would start really thinking that the Trump attack was staged, and people would, that would just be I didn't want to think about what would happen. Let's pray Biden stays safe, and let's keep things at the battle box, as he's been saying.
The battle box.
We resolve it at the battle box.
Don't forget to get your battle pass this November to get to the battle.
You meant to say battle box.
Dude, AI Biden in the future, 20 years from now, is going to be so much fun.
Oh my gosh. Do you listen to the Conundrum Cluster podcast?
No, that sounds fun.
It's someone like he does the entire thing in an AI Biden voice that sounds like incredibly like him. And like half of it is he really hates free subscribers. Who are like subscribers who don't, because like part of it is paid, part of it's free, and like half of it is just Biden unleashing like genocidal levels of hatred against free subscribers and talking about how much he hates them.
That's pretty funny.
It's great. It's great.
Should steal that idea.
That'll be our next scheme here on the Meme Ranch. All right. Yeah. Thank you guys. Thank you, Brady.
Thanks,
most
Jacob.
of all. And good luck on your future interviews. You're going to go far with this Eyewitness account.
Thank you, big guy. Yeah, more Australian interviews. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me on. Yeah.
All right. Take care.
Again.